Every 4 years, for about a month, the way the entire planet eats dinner changes. Over a single World Cup weekend, one food delivery app took more than 8 million orders. Its best mark of the whole year. But here is the part nobody expects. The busiest moment is not during the game. It is not even the goals. The real chaos happens in a 90-minute window when the field is still empty. Think about it. The food has to arrive before the players even walk out. The whole rush is built around a kickoff time that never moves. This is the story of how the World Cup quietly became the most important month on the food delivery calendar, why your order is always late on match day, and why companies are now paying hundreds of millions just to feed you while you watch. Here is the setup. In 2026, the World Cup is being played across 3 countries at once: the United States, Canada, and Mexico. And for the first time ever, it is a 48-team tournament. That is more teams, more matches, and more match days than any World Cup in history. More matches means more nights when millions of people sit on a couch and decide they are not cooking. And it is not 1 or 2 nights. During a World Cup it happens again and again, week after week, for the better part of a month. For food delivery, that is not just a busy season. It is the Olympics of demand. Apps plan for it months ahead. Restaurants live or die by it. And a few giant companies have bet enormous money that controlling game day dinner is worth more than almost anything else they do. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly what a World Cup does to delivery, hour by hour. The surge nobody sees coming. The reason apps and kitchens melt down. The billion-dollar land grab happening right now. Quick! When do you think food delivery peaks on a match day? During the game, right? When everyone is glued to the screen? Wrong. It is almost the opposite. It feels obvious that people order during the match. The data says the exact opposite, and once you see why, you cannot unsee it. When you look at the order data around a big match, the demand curve has a very specific shape. The huge spike comes before kickoff. The main peak lands somewhere between 2 hours and 30 minutes before the match starts. Why? Because nobody wants the doorbell ringing during a goal. People want the food already on the table, drinks already cold, everything settled before the anthem plays. So the entire city orders in the same narrow window. Then the whistle blows. And delivery goes quiet. For 90 minutes, ordering nearly stops. Operators describe it as frantic in the build-up and then dead the second the match starts. Think about the rhythm of a soccer match. 90 near continuous minutes with a single break. There is almost no natural moment to stop an order. There are only 2 little aftershocks. A short bump at halftime, when people grab snacks, desserts, and another round of drinks. And a second one right after the final whistle. So the opportunity is not spread across the evening. It is crushed into one pre-match rush. And that single fact, that everyone orders at once, is the root cause of almost every problem we are about to talk about. In Brazil, food delivery and football are practically the same event. And the company in the middle of it is a delivery giant that dominates the country. During the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, this app did not just have a good weekend. Over the weekend of the group stage, it logged more than 8 million orders. That was its single best mark of the entire year. To put it simply, the World Cup did not just bump their sales. It produced the single biggest moment of the year for the entire platform. And it is not only the men's tournament. During the 2023 Women's World Cup, the app leaned all the way in. By their own numbers, 21 million people watched Women's World Cup matches through the app, and orders that month jumped 23% compared to the month before. That campaign was such a hit it won international advertising awards. A food delivery company became a place you go to watch sports. The meal and the match fused into one screen. If you are into this kind of behind-the-scenes look at how delivery actually works, subscribe to Delivery Circle. We break down the apps, the business, and the weird economics of getting food to your door. So here is the trap. The whole city orders in the same 30-minute window. A kitchen that comfortably handles 40 orders an hour suddenly gets 200, all stamped deliver before kickoff. They physically cannot cook that fast. So food sits. Orders back up. Every one of those orders carries the same invisible label. Get this to me before the match starts. There is no spreading it out, no asking people to wait until later. Now add the couriers. The apps need a massive number of drivers on the road in that exact window, and far fewer for the rest of the night. To pull enough drivers out at once, prices climb. That is the surge pricing and the delivery fees that mysteriously spike right before a big game. This is why your delivery is late on World Cup final day. It is not that the app is broken. It is that demand arrived in a single violent spike against a hard deadline, with limited kitchens and limited drivers. Something has to give. Usually, it is your delivery time. And the moment the match ends, all of that capacity is suddenly idle. And here is the cruel twist. The later your food is, the closer it gets to kickoff, and the angrier you get. The one night the system is most stressed is the night you care most about timing. The 2026 World Cup is a once-in-a-generation opening for delivery. It is in North America, one of the most valuable delivery markets on Earth, and it is spread across 3 countries and dozens of cities for over a month. So the giants moved. The biggest player made the boldest move. It became an official supporter of the 2026 World Cup, the official on-demand delivery partner of the tournament. And it did not go in alone. It now owns several international delivery brands, so it launched its first ever global campaign across all of them, built entirely around the World Cup. For a delivery company, becoming an official part of the World Cup is a statement. It says, when the whole world sits down to watch, we are the name on the screen. They wrapped it in a giant promotion. Watch parties, free buses to stadiums, ticket giveaways, even a trip to the final, all bundled into their subscription program. The message is simple. If you are watching the World Cup, you should be ordering through us. Then there is the main rival. It took a different angle. It sponsors a host country's national team, so it is positioned across all 3 host nations at once. Its focus is bigger group orders, people feeding a whole watch party, not just themselves. And it came with cash. During the tournament it has been offering 30% back in app credit on certain meals in host cities, up to $35 per meal. That is real money pushed at you to keep you inside their app during the 1 month everyone is watching. Here is where it gets genuinely surprising. The reason these companies spend like this has almost nothing to do with the profit on one night of dinners. The next part is the piece most people never think about, the real economics. A delivery app does not really win by making a few dollars on your World Cup pizza. It wins by getting you to install the app, subscribe to the membership, and keep the habit long after the tournament ends. The World Cup forces millions of people to order delivery in a short burst, often people who do not usually bother. If the app can hook them during the most exciting month of the year, some of them stay. And a customer who orders every week for years is worth vastly more than one matchday order. The cash back and giveaways look like generosity. They are actually customer acquisition. That is the whole game. Lose a little money tonight to win a customer for the next 10 years. On a normal weekend, that math is hard. During a World Cup, with everyone watching, it suddenly makes sense. And it is not just the apps. For restaurants, the World Cup is a rare moment when demand is guaranteed and people are willing to spend on a spread. Analysts expect the tournament to lift restaurant traffic across host markets like the United States and Mexico. The smart operators plan their menus and staffing around the match calendar weeks in advance. Now zoom all the way out, because this is the part that makes the World Cup unlike anything else in food. The matches are scheduled across the whole day to fit global television. A game at noon in one country is prime dinner time in another. So the pre-kickoff surge does not happen once. It happens over and over, rolling around the planet, following the schedule like a wave following the sun. And every country spikes hardest for its own team. When Brazil plays, Brazil orders. When Mexico plays, Mexico orders. For a global delivery company, that turns a single month into a relay race. The operations team in one region barely catches its breath before another region's biggest match kicks off. The surge never really stops. It just moves. 30 straight days of someone, somewhere, slamming the apps right before kickoff. In the United States, there is one day everyone calls the king of food ordering: the Super Bowl. Pizza chains brace for it like a natural disaster. Wings, chips, and delivery orders go through the roof for one Sunday. But here is the difference in scale. The Super Bowl is one game, one night, mostly one country. For years, the Super Bowl has been the benchmark, the day every delivery executive points to. It is genuinely massive, and it earned that reputation. The World Cup is dozens of matches, across a whole month, in almost every country on Earth at the same time. No single night beats the Super Bowl in America. But as a global event, stretched over weeks, nothing else in food delivery comes close to the total volume of a World Cup. One is a sprint. The other is a marathon of sprints. If you run a restaurant, the lesson is simple. The money is in the pre-game window, so build for it. Preset combos and watch party bundles that are fast to assemble. A menu trimmed down for speed on match nights. Packaging that survives the trip and keeps food hot. This is also prime time for ghost kitchens, delivery-only operations with no dining room. When all the demand is delivery anyway, a kitchen built purely for delivery has a real edge on the busiest nights of the year. And if you are just the person trying to eat? Order early. Surprisingly early. Beat the pre-kickoff wall by ordering well before everyone else does. Use the app's own World Cup deals while they are live. And if you forgot, halftime is your second chance. That little dip in demand is the easiest moment to get an order through. Get those three things right: speed, a tight menu, and packaging, and a single World Cup can be the most profitable month a small kitchen has all year. Step back, and the World Cup is almost a perfect picture of the entire delivery industry. The predictable surge. The strain on restaurants and drivers. The giants spending fortunes to own a habit. The quiet shift where a delivery app becomes the place you watch the game, order the food, and never leave. A tournament about football has quietly become one of the most important business events in food. Every 4 years it shows the whole industry, compressed into a month, exactly what it is and where it is heading. That is the full circle of food delivery. If this changed how you will think about your next matchday order, do one thing. Subscribe to Delivery Circle. We pull back the curtain on the apps, the money, and the logistics behind every meal that shows up at your door. It is all there in one tournament. The demand, the technology, the money, the habit. The World Cup just turns the volume all the way up. And if you want the origin story of one of the giants we mentioned, watch our breakdown of how Uber Eats went from a $12 lunch to a $100 billion machine. Next time, we are going inside the ghost kitchen boom, the invisible restaurants you have ordered from without knowing it.